Stop scrolling for a moment and take a breath. The angels are speaking, and they brought a detail you did not expect. There is an exact moment when your soulmate's heart will whisper, without words, "It's you." You won't always hear it with your ears. You will feel it in the small, ordinary places where God likes to hide the extraordinary, in a half-smile across a crowded room, in a hand offered when you were about to fall, in the quiet that follows honest confession. This message isn't about fairy tale scripts or manufactured romance. It is about the holy, tender instant when two frightened, hopeful souls recognize an echo of home in one another. The angels watch these moments because they know how much is at stake. They see the timing, the preparation, the miracle of two stories being braided together. They tell us the truth. The "it's you" moment is precise, sacred, and almost always smaller than you expect. Imagine it like this: two lives parallel for years, separate roads that run near each other, the same city, similar coffee shops, overlapping prayer groups. You pass people you will never meet and people you will meet by design. Then one ordinary afternoon, something shifts. Maybe you are late for work, juggling a bag of groceries, and a stranger offers to hold the door. You laugh at your clumsiness, their eyes meet yours, and there is a pause, a soft, electric pause that compresses time. That pause is the universe drawing a breath. It is a quiet note in the music of your lives where the melody changes. For your soulmate, that pause is the exact second their heart says, "It's you." They may not say it aloud. They may not even fully tell themselves yet. But an inner compass snaps into place, a string is tuned, and a recognition that feels like both relief and awe is born. Angels lean in at that millisecond and begin the long, careful work of making two separate paths into one journey. Often, the "it's you" moment arrives in the wake of pain rather than triumph. People rarely meet their truest companion at the apex of success. They meet them in rooms where raw need and genuine vulnerability are present. I know you want the cinematic collision, thunder, sweeping music, slow motion, but God's draftsman prefers the subtler brushstrokes. Think about a hospital waiting room at 2 a.m. fluorescent lights painting everyone the same tired gray. There is exhaustion, confession, and fear. Two people share a prayer for a loved one and find their voices steady in one another. In that weary exchange, one heart finds home. Or think of the one who volunteers late at night at a shelter, hands scrubbed in compassion, who meets another volunteer with the same stubborn tenderness. In that shared service, a heartbeat whispers, "It's you." Angels call these moments divine alignment, small acts where destiny's scaffolding begins to set. Sometimes the "it's you" moment occurs internally, in dream or in prayer, and only later ripples into the visible world. One person will wake from a dream with a sudden clarity, a face, a laugh, a silly gesture imprinted like a stamp. They may dismiss it at first as wishful thinking, but the angels count such dreams as signposts. These early nudges prime hearts. They are like rehearsal notes that prepare someone to recognize truth when it steps into daylight. If you have had a recurring dream about a type of person, a certain kindness, a laugh, a way of listening, do not be too quick to cast it aside. Sometimes heaven rehearses the heart in secret so the meeting can be unmistakable when it happens. But what does that recognition actually feel like? For some it is an easing, a sudden shedding of armor. For others it is a tightening of the chest, an ache of longing that has always been there but never had a home. Often it arrives with a rush of tiny confirmations, a song on the radio that was your childhood favorite, a joke the other person tells that mirrors your own private humor, a shared moment where silence is comfortable rather than awkward. The angels say the most reliable sign is inner peace paired with persistent clarity. In other words, your soul knows the truth and will not be confused by chaos. When your soulmate's heart says, "It's you," everything that once felt like ambiguity becomes organized around a simple axis: alignment. There is a single phrase that follows these moments more than anything else: I feel known. To be known is to be called home. Do not mistake this for an emotional high that will last without effort. The angelic insistence on precision is not sentimental falsehood, it is the recognition that love is both a feeling and a decision. The moment the heart says, "It's you," is a gift, but it is not a ticket to bliss without work. Real love asks for fidelity and keeps practicing kindness when the enthusiasm fades. So hear this: the angels will often place two tests immediately after the recognition: truth and timing. Truth will test whether the person's heart is honestly aligned with God's goodness, not simply infatuation. Timing will test whether circumstances allow both to step forward without causing harm, to self, to others, to responsibilities. Angels watch to see if both souls will choose wisely rather than simply choose quickly. What does choosing wisely look like? First, it looks like an honest inventory of inner motives. Are you leaning toward this person because they make you feel validated, or because they reflect the image of God in ways that call you to grow? Are you seeking a soulmate because you are escaping loneliness, or because you are ready to expand love into responsibility? Angels love to nudge people away from cheap fixes and toward covenantal readiness. Second, choosing wisely looks like patient discernment. There is spiritual and practical discernment: prayer, seeking counsel from wise friends or leaders, watching for patterns of character, and refusing to be blinded by dramatic gestures. If you rush because of pressure, from peers, from timelines, from the fear of missing out, you may step into a love story that is more about rescue than maturity. The angels also whisper a warning about counterfeit moments. Avoid confusing a strong physical chemistry or a lifeline given in a desperate hour with a deeper, "It's you," alignment. Desperation can create a mirage of intimacy. Adrenaline and relief are not the same as covenantal love. The angels say, "Slow down. Give time to see if kindness remains when the crisis abates, if respect endures when convenience is lost, if generosity continues when resources tighten." The soul that says, "It's you," will be steady, not merely sensational. They will show up in the ordinary future, not only in the extraordinary present. There are beautiful stories that teach this well. In one town, two people met at a community garden. He was the city mechanic who came once a week to help with soil for his sister's small farm. She was a schoolteacher who came to teach kids how to plant a seed and wait. Their first conversation was about compost and rainwater. Both walked away thinking, "Nice person." 2 months later, during a power outage that froze the city in winter, she knocked on his door for help with a stuck furnace. He did not hesitate. He came, fixed it, and called a neighbor to make sure she had blankets. In that small, noisy, ordinary act, his heart whispered, "It's you." Years later they would laugh that the spark didn't come from a fluorescent bar or a dramatic cliffside but from the mundane clash of weather and neighborliness. The angels leaned in then, because they love to build destiny on the durable substrate of steady kindness. Another story is tender in a different way. A woman who had been betrayed by a former fiancé vowed never to trust again. She guarded herself with well-rehearsed caution and clear boundaries. A man arrived in her life not through fireworks but through weekly phone calls when his elderly neighbor needed help, calls she often overheard. He was consistent in small ways: texts that arrived on weekends to ask if she had eaten, a book left on her porch with a note, the daily patience to hold a conversation without pressing for more. After months, she felt something inside shift, a tiny unlocking. She would later say that the exact moment her heart answered, "It's you," was when he sat in the parking lot for 2 hours while she finished a late-night shift, refusing to rush her, refusing to demand explanations. She recognized that steadiness is a rarer currency than passion. The angels smiled at that patient watchfulness. There are practical spiritual steps you can take to align yourself with that exact moment, rather than missing it in the fog. First, prepare your inner life. Soul readiness matters. Heal the places where you have been fragmented, take time with a counselor, sit with wise friends, confess and release bitterness. Angels do not deliver their messages into unprepared spaces, they illuminate hearts that have room to receive. Second, cultivate a posture of expectancy without grasping. Expectation is different from desperation. Expectation is a quiet readiness, desperation is a frantic hunger that makes poor choices. Third, foster discernment through community. Bring trusted mentors into the conversation. The angels often work through human wisdom, using elders and counselors as their instruments. A discerning friend will help you spot red flags and also confirm good fruit. Fourth, live faithfully in your present vocation and commitments. Love seldom asks you to abandon responsibility for romance. Rather, it calls you to weave partnership into your existing life well. Once the "it's you" moment arrives and both hearts sense the same thing, the angels often provide small confirmations, not always dramatic signs, but little "yes" that build confidence. Maybe the other person remembers a detail you had forgotten, or they do something sacrificial without fanfare, or a mutual friend confirms a line of character you suspected. These confirmations are like stamps on a passport. They don't constitute the journey alone, but they authenticate it. The angels coax patience into boldness. Take your time to confirm, then move with courage when you are sure. If you are single and weary of waiting, hear this tender encouragement. Your soulmate's heart might be whispering, "It's you," even now, in secret prayers, in scattered choices, in gentle sacrifices, so do not dismiss a soft nudge that feels divinely timed. At the same time, do not chase a shadow. Hold open hands. Make peace with seasons of waiting by investing in your own growth. Learn to be whole alone so that when someone arrives saying, "It's you," they meet you as a companion, not an incomplete rescuer. Angels watch those whom God is forming. They rejoice when you use waiting as a workshop rather than a prison. For those already partnered but feeling the flame dim, remember the "it's you" moment wasn't a one-time event but a covenantal spring. Love lives in continual rechoosing. The angels say you can reawaken that whisper by small acts of humility, by returning to the foundations that first drew you together, shared laughter, shared work, shared faith, and by inviting honest confession where bitterness grows. Sometimes couples rediscover their "it's you" by doing the simplest thing, sitting together in silence and holding hands. The angels rejoice when love is cared for long after the honeymoon ends. Before I close, there is a cautionary note from the heavenly realm. Not every ache for romantic confirmation is a divine nudge. Loneliness is a powerful teacher and also a cunning deceiver. If your inner longing feels like a void that cannot rest, seek counsel and root healing before pursuing love as therapy. The angels do not replace a therapist or a gospel-centered counselor. They complement wise care. Ground your hope in God's presence first, because the deepest "it's you" is not just about another human. It is a human who reflects the lover of your soul. Let us end with a prayer, a gentle, honest asking for clarity, readiness, and protection as you wait for or steward the moment your soulmate's heart says, "It's you." Heavenly Father, we thank you for the beautiful mystery of human hearts and for the sacred rhythm by which you knit lives together. We ask you now to prepare us for the exact moments you have ordained, moments when another's heart will whisper, "It's you." Heal the broken places that would blind us to truth, steady our feet in seasons of waiting, and give us the discernment to recognize what is from you. Bless the person reading this with clarity. If their soulmate is near, open their eyes and soften their hearts. If they are still being formed, grant them grace and growth. Protect us from counterfeit sparks and keep us safe from rushed decisions. For those already walking in covenant, renew the joy and deepen the love that first spoke, "It's you." Surround every heart with angels of wisdom, and let your peace be the surest sign we follow. In the name that binds and redeems, Amen. If this word resonated with your soul, don't let it only be a whisper, make a small act of faith. Type "I'm ready" in the comments as a sign that you are preparing your heart for what heaven is aligning. Share this video with someone who has been waiting and needs hope. Like and subscribe to join this community of people who are learning to live expectantly, wisely, and in step with heaven's timing. And when the moment comes and you hear that quiet "it's you" in your spirit or someone else's, step forward with courage. The angels are cheering you on.